So, hello students, a very good afternoon to all. Today is 1st of May, International Labour Day, where we celebrate all the workers and laborers of the world. So, with that motivation, let's start our work and welcome to the daily newspaper analysis of 1st of May. So, these are the 8 important topics which we shall be discussing today. All these topics are very important for the exam. Direct question can be asked in prelims also. So, here our first topic is related to the Medical Termination of Pregnancy Act. So recently Supreme Court has told central government that the government must amend this Medical Termination of Pregnancy Act and government must remove the timeline which it has mentioned for the termination of pregnancy or for abortion. Second article is related to revenue deficit. So recently Finance Ministry has told that all the states which are having a huge financial deficit, they will be facing huge financial crisis in future. So we shall be discussing what are the reasons and what all things can happen related to high revenue deficit. Third article is related to sacred groves. So recently the government of Kerala has taken an initiative. It has started a pilot project to in order to conserve the sacred groves in Kerala. Next, we have topic on parliamentary committees. So recently chairpersons of various parliamentary committees are appointed. So here for exam perspective, you must have the idea of name of chairperson also. Maybe UPSC will not ask name of the chairperson, but for other government exams, name of chairpersons are important. And for UPSC, we will be focusing on the basics of parliamentary committees. Next, we have topic on the canine distemper virus. So recently, a very unfortunate incident happened in Kana Tiger Reserve in Madhya Pradesh. So a tigress and her 4 cubs died because of canine distemper virus. So here, in this article, the basic concept of canine distemper virus is very important. Next, we have the topic on green methanol. So recently, government has decided to use an invasive species, an invasive flora in the production of green methanol. So this is very important article for prelims as well as for mains. Next, we have the topic of food security. So recently, World Bank has released a report and it has mentioned in the report that there is no alignment of hydrological realities as well as the food systems which we are using. That means generally at present people are not growing the type of food which is resembling with the water realities of that region. And next, final article we have about the fiber optic drones. So recently, a militant group in Lebanon has used the fiber optic drones for attack in Israel. So here for science and technology, the basic concept of fiber optic drones is very important. Now, let's start our detailed discussion. Okay. So this is the article. So recently, Supreme Court has told central government that it must lift the abortion time limit for the minor rape survivors. So before understanding the complete issue, let's first of all have a basic idea about Medical Termination of Pregnancy Act 2021. Because we must have a basic idea about provision of this act, then only we can understand why Supreme Court has said this. So under this act, under Medical Termination of Pregnancy Act 2021, a time period of 24 weeks has been specified that if you want to terminate your pregnancy or if you want to have abortion, then you can do it only within the 24 weeks, because if you are doing abortion after that, so it will be considered as illegal. So after 24 weeks, it will be considered as illegal. Now, what Supreme Court has said, Supreme Court said that for normal conditions it is okay. But if that is the case of the minor rape survivor, here the article is discussing about the minor rape survivor. So Supreme Court is saying that if this is a case of minor rape survivor and you are asking that rape survivor to continue the pregnancy, then it will deepen the trauma only, right? Because it is a normal, it's not a normal condition. You are asking a rape survivor to continue with the pregnancy. So it will deepen the trauma only. And if it will deepen the trauma, then it is the violation of dignity. That means it is violation of fundamental right against Article 21. So that's why Supreme Court is saying for for normal conditions, that is okay. But if we are considering the case of minor rape survivor, then no government, no doctor, no medical board, no one can ask that particular rape survivor to continue the pregnancy. So it depends completely on the will of that rape survivor or her parents to continue with the pregnancy or not. So that's what court has said, that decision on abortion should rest with the survivor and her parents, not the state or doctors or any medical board. This is the important thing which recently Supreme Court has said. So Supreme Court said to the government that you must remove the time limit. And what was the time limit? Under MTP Act of 2021, time limit was 24 weeks. And even if it is a very, very special case, then you can exceed 24 weeks also. But at present, the limit is 24 weeks. Now, second important thing here is, recently court refused to entertain the government's curative petition. Why government has made curative petition? Because earlier Supreme Court has allowed a 15-year-old rape survivor to terminate a 30-week pregnancy. So according to Act, you cannot terminate a pregnancy which is more than 24 weeks. But in earlier decision, Supreme Court has allowed that thing for a 15-year-old survivor. So that's why government has filed a curative petition. So for you, that's a very important to know the basic idea of curative petition. The curative petition is nothing but it is a very last resort a party has against the decision of Supreme Court. So for example, Supreme Court has given a particular decision. That means this is the judgment of Supreme Court. Now, if one party is not happy with that judgment of Supreme Court, so that party can file a review petition. Review petition that I am not happy with your judgment and please review your order. But even after the review, if the party is not happy, then final resort is the curative petition. That party can file the curative petition. Now, it depends solely on the discretion of Supreme Court that whether to entertain that petition or not. Because if Supreme Court sees any good in that, so Supreme Court can entertain the curative petition. Otherwise, there is no need. So recently, this thing only happened. Court refused to entertain the government's curative petition against this thing. Now, since we are discussing about the MTB Act, so let's quickly discuss about the differences between the earlier act, because MTB Act of 1971 was the original act. And after that, we have the MTB Amendment Act of 2021. So if we talk about the 1971 Act, then earlier this act applied only to the married women. Only married women could terminate the pregnancy. But at present, with the changing realities of the society, now along with married women, unmarried women are also covered under the MTP Act of 2021. Next important thing is the time limit, which it is mentioning. So earlier time limit was just 20 weeks. That means if you are terminating pregnancy which is more than 20 weeks, then it will be illegal. But under the new act, the time limit is 24 weeks. But even if there are very, very special circumstances, then you can go beyond 24 weeks. But if you want to go beyond that, then the approval of medical board will be required. So recently what Supreme Court has said, in normal conditions that is okay, but if you are talking about minor rape survivor, then there must not be any time limit and government must make the amendment in this 2021 Act and government must remove that time limit. So this was the overall gist of the article, that what Supreme Court has said, why Supreme Court has said that, and what is the basic purpose of curative petition, what is the difference between 1971 as well as 2021 Act, etc., etc. Now, quickly give me the answer in the comment section that a curative petition is filed first before appeal, or it is filed after trial, or it is filed after review petition, or it is filed before High Court. So here you have to give me answer in the comment section. Okay, is it visible? Yes, just a second. Yes, our next important article is related to the revenue deficit. So recently, what are the news? Recently, Ministry of Finance has warned the states with revenue deficits and high debt that these states will face difficulty in handling the fiscal shocks, specifically amid the West Asia crisis. So to understand your entire news, first of all, let's discuss the basic concept of the revenue deficit. Okay, so here we shall be discussing about, is it visible? Revenue deficit. Okay, so this is RD. So basically, if we talk about revenue deficit, so revenue deficit happens when revenue expenditure is more than revenue receipts. That means, but revenue receipts means the income part under the revenue. So first important thing is when revenue deficit occurs. So revenue deficit occurs when revenue expenditure is very large or revenue expenditure is more than revenue receipts. So first of all, let's have a basic idea about revenue receipts, and then we shall be discussing in brief about revenue expenditure. So if we talk about the revenue receipts, see the meaning of receipts meaning that receipts meaning the income side. And if we are talking about the revenue receipts, then it means the current revenue receipts, right? So it means the current revenue receipts. Current revenue receipts, that means there will not be any asset creation, or there will not be any liability. Okay, so if we are talking about the revenue receipts, that means it is the income side from the, it is the current income side. And if we are talking about the revenue receipts, then under revenue receipts, no liability will be created or no asset reduction will be there, because these two things happen in the capital receipts. In capital receipts, liability will also increase and asset creation, and the asset creation will also reduce. But here, if we are talking about the revenue receipts, then no liability creation will be, no liability will increase and no asset will reduce. Now, quickly, let's discuss about the components of revenue receipts. So, if we talk about the components, so in first of all, first component will be about the tax receipts. In tax receipts, we will be having the direct tax as well as the indirect tax. Okay, and if we are talking about the non-tax receipts, so under non-tax receipts, what all will come? First of all, about the interest payments. The parties who has taken loan, they will pay their interest. Or second thing, what can come here? Just a second. About the dividend which is given by the public sector undertakings, or the grants which are given. All these things will come under the non-tax revenue receipts. Now, quickly, let's discuss about the revenue expenditure. What all things will come under the revenue expenditure? So under the revenue expenditure also, if we have taken loan from somewhere, then you have to pay the interest. So please keep in mind, whenever we are talking about the revenue part, so we are talking about the current part. That means the recurring part, which will be happening again and again within a period of 1 month or 6 months or 1 year. But it is recurring. Please keep it in mind. This is the difference between revenue part as well as the capital part. So this is the difference between both. So if we are talking about the revenue expenditure, then what all things can come under revenue expenditure? If we have taken loan from somewhere, then we have to pay the interest. Or second thing, what can come? If the pensions or the salaries of employees, what all salaries we are giving, all these things will be part of revenue expenditure. Or if we are giving grants to someone, so all these things are part of revenue expenditure. So if we talk about the revenue deficit, then this part, that is revenue expenditure part, is very, very large than the revenue receipts part. Now, quickly, yes, and here, if we discuss, here we discussed about the revenue receipts. So in revenue receipts, no liability will increase or your assets will also not reduce. But if we talk about the revenue expenditure, in revenue expenditure, no liability will reduce or no asset creation will be done. So here, whenever we talk about the revenue part, that is revenue expenditure or revenue receipts, there will be no picture of liability or no picture of asset creation, because liability or asset creation are involved under the capital expenditure or capital receipt. Okay, so I think we discussed. Yes. So now, according to a recent report, 9 out of 18 major states are projected to run revenue deficits. So it is a major thing for the states in India. So here, 9 out of, that means around 50% of major states in India are running the revenue deficit. Now, why this is very important, why Ministry of Finance has said that they may face the financial shocks, let's discuss this. See, whenever you have the revenue deficit, so what will happen if you have the revenue deficits? That means you are paying a lot, you are expending a lot in the salaries, in the pensions, in the defense expenditure, you are expending a lot. So if revenue deficit is very high, then you will do the borrowings, just to pay the interest. Generally, what is the good condition? That you borrow to invest in the economy, you borrow for the asset creation, or you borrow for the infrastructure development. But if your revenue deficit is very high, then you will borrow just to pay the interest of your borrowings. So this is not very good thing. So all the states who have very high revenue deficit, they are borrowing just to pay the interest. Hence, those states cannot invest in the economy, or those states cannot create assets. And this is the major thing, that any good state must have a very good capital expenditure, so that assets can be created, so that economy can develop. So this is the major drawback, that whenever you have the revenue deficit, then you cannot focus on the capital expenditure. So here, the report stresses the importance of the following golden rule. What is the golden rule? That always you should try to maintain the zero revenue deficit. Why? Because if your revenue deficit is zero, then only you can invest your borrowings in the economy, or you can use the borrowings in the infrastructure development, and not just to pay the salaries, pensions, or interest. Now, this is our next article. This is next important article about the sacred groves. So recently, the government of Kerala had started a pilot program to restore the sacred groves. So first of all, let's have a basic idea about sacred groves. What are these? So sacred groves are the forest patches which are preserved by the local communities because of the cultural or religious beliefs. So what are sacred groves? They are particular part of a forest, and they are preserved by local communities. Why they are preserved? Because they have cultural or the religious significance. Now, what the Wildlife Protection Act 1972 says, this act says that state government has the authority to declare any private or community land as the community reserve. That means state government has the power, that state government can say that this particular area from now will be a community reserve, and it will be protected by the local communities. Now let's discuss few things about the news. So recently, Kerala State Biodiversity Board has started a pilot program to restore sacred groves. And in Kerala, sacred groves are known as kavus. So the local names of sacred groves also you must know, because they also can be directly asked in any government exam. Now here, 5 sacred groves have been selected across the Kerala for the first phase, because since it is a pilot program, and if this program succeeds, then Kerala government can launch a complete program. Now, what all things are done to restore these kavus or to restore these sacred groves? What all things are being done? So here, endangered and invasive species will be identified, because invasive species will hinder the development of the native species. Second is setting up the kavu nurseries. That means you have to set up the nurseries of the sacred groves. next is the biofencing. Biofencing means, for example, these are your sacred groves. So under biofencing, you will not use the artificial fencing or artificial wires. In biofencing, what you will do, you will make a line of natural plants only. So these plants will protect these sacred groves from any foreign invasion. So this is the meaning of biofencing. Okay, Janu, hello, please try to give the answer which I have try to give the answer of the, I think it was the first topic about the Medical Termination of Pregnancy Act. So please go through that article. And yes, so about the sacred groves we discussed. Okay, now next the article discusses about the significance of the sacred groves. So what the article says, that sacred groves are culturally protected ecosystem that conserve the rare endemic and medicinal plant species. Why article is saying this? Because see, in sacred groves you will not cut any tree and you will conserve the trees in that patch of forest. So if you are not cutting any tree, if you are not disturbing the ecosystem, then even the rarest of the rarest and the endemic species will survive. Those species can be of animals also, those species can be of plants also. So here many medicinal plant species can also survive, and hence it is a very good center of the gene pool. Hence, it is, apart from having the religious or cultural significance, it has ecological significance also. Now, next, it also helps in the soil conservation, water conservation, and biodiversity protection. Why? Because see, if you are not cutting trees, then trees will grow a lot. If trees are growing a lot, then old trees will have very deeper roots. And if the roots of the trees are very deep, then they will bind the soil together. And if soil is binded together, then it will help in soil conservation. And second thing, if soil is binded together, then it will also avoid the overflow of water, and hence it will ensure the water conservation also. So if these two things are protected, then we can easily say then it leads to biodiversity protection also. Okay, so these were the basic concepts about the sacred groves. And since we have discussed about sacred groves, so let's have a basic idea of the local names of sacred groves which are found in different states of India. Okay, so yes, we discussed about the Kerala. We discussed already about the Kerala. So in Kerala, name of the sacred grove is Kavu. If we talk about Tamil Nadu, so the name of the sacred grove is Kovilkadu. So please remember these names, they can directly be asked in exams. So in Kerala, their name is Kavu. In Tamil Nadu, their name is Kovilkadu. If we talk about Karnataka, so their name is Devarakadu. If we talk about West Bengal, so their name is Gramthan. If we talk about Himachal Pradesh, their name is Devbhumi. If we talk about Rajasthan, their name is Oran Kenkari. If we talk about Maharashtra, their name is Devarai. So please remember these names. These local names are very, very important for the exam. Next very important article is related to parliamentary committees. So article is talking about name of different chairpersons which are recently been appointed or reappointed in various parliamentary committees. So basically here name of different chairpersons are given, that all these people are appointed as chairperson. So maybe UPSC will not ask the name, but UPSC will ask about the basic of parliamentary committees. But definitely all these names can be asked in the other government exams. So before discussing the name, first of all, let's discuss about the basics of parliamentary committees. Okay, so here, parliamentary committees. So basically, in parliamentary committees, if we talk, basically there are two types of parliamentary committees. So first will be the standing committees, and second type will be the ad hoc committees. So these standing committees are the permanent parliamentary committees, which these committees are made in the duration of every 1 year. And ad hoc committees are based on the special cases, that based on the requirement of time, these ad hoc committees can be made. Now, in standing committees also, there are various other types. For example, the financial committees are the standing committees because they are made on the regular basis. Or other kind of standing committees will be departmentally related standing committees. So these are also made on the regular basis within the period of 1 year. Now here, if I talk about the financial standing committees, so there are three financial standing committees. First is the Public Account Committee, second is the Estimates Committee, and third is the Public Undertaking Committee. Okay, so let's briefly discuss about the basic functions. So if we talk about the Public Account Committee, so Public Account Committee analyze the expenditure which has already happened. So their analysis is the post expenditure. If we talk about the Estimates Committee, so they analyze the future upcoming expenditure. So what is their main purpose? There they analyze the upcoming expenditure. And if we talk about the Public Undertaking Committee, so they analyze the expenditure of the PSUs, the companies where government has 51% or more than 51% stakes, for example, IOCL or for example, ONGC. So here they analyze the expenditure of public sector undertakings. So these are the basic functions of these financial committees. Now, if we talk about the chairpersons, that who appoint the chairpersons of all these committees. So for all these three committees, the chairperson is appointed by the Speaker of Lok Sabha. Speaker of Lok Sabha. So in the article, the chairperson of all the three committees are discussed. So you must have a basic idea that who appoints the chairperson of these financial standing committees. So chairperson is appointed by the Speaker of Lok Sabha. And what is the duration of all these committees? So the duration will be 1 year. So for 1 year, all these committees are, the members of all these committees are appointed. Now, since the article talks about the Public Accounts Committee, that KC Venugopal has been reappointed as chairperson of Public Account Committee. So please keep note of this, that whenever we talk about the appointment of members, so here members can also be reappointed, because for every member for every member in this committee, the term is 1 year. After 1 year, all the members are eligible for reappointment also. So I think these were the basics about the financial standing committee. Now, if we talk about the departmental standing committees, so in departmental standing committees also we have various important committees. For example, committees for the welfare of women or committee for the welfare of scheduled caste, scheduled tribe. So here article discusses about the chairperson of one important committee, and that is Committee on the Welfare of Scheduled Caste and Scheduled Tribes. So here Committee on Scheduled Caste and Scheduled Tribes is not the financial committee. It is a part of departmentally related standing committee. So at least you must have an idea about the composition of this committee. So if we talk about the Committee on Scheduled Caste and Scheduled Tribe, so basically this committee has in total 30 members, and out of these 30 members, 20 members belong to Lok Sabha and 10 members belong to Rajya Sabha. Now, who appoints the chairperson of this committee? So here also Speaker of Lok Sabha will appoint the chairperson of this committee. And yes, since we have discussed about the members of this committee, here we have discussed about 30. So here you must also have an idea. Public Accounts Committee have in total of 22 members. Estimate Committee have in total of 30 members. And Public Undertaking Committee have in total of 22 members. And one more important thing, that in Estimates Committee, only the members of Lok Sabha are allowed. So this committee will not be found with the members of Rajya Sabha. So I think these were the basics which are important for the UPSC. Now let's discuss some of the important points which are important for other government exams. So here the name of chairperson is very important. So if we talk about the chairperson of Public Accounts Committee, so KC Venugopal has been reappointed as the chairperson of Public Account Committee. So this name is very important. Okay, second important thing is about the chairperson of Committee on Public Undertakings. So the chairperson is the Bajayan Panda. Bajayan Panda is the recent chairperson of the Committee on Public Undertaking. If we talk about the Committee on Estimates, so Sanjay Jaiswal has been appointed as the chairperson of Committee on Estimates. And finally, Committee on Welfare of SC and ST. So here, Faggan Singh Kulaste, he is appointed as the chairperson of this departmentally standing committee. So I think we discussed each and every point which can be asked in exam. At least you must have basic idea of all these things, that what are the members, what is the tenure of members, or what is the basic purpose of all these committees, all these things. Now quickly give me just a second. Okay, so now give me answer in the comment section that what is the method used for the appointment of members in all these committees. So you have to tell me whether it is direct method, indirect method, or any specific kind of method. So give me answer in the comment section that what is the method used to appoint these members in this committee. Now, next important article is about the Kanha Tiger Reserve. So recently, tigress and 4 cubs died in past 2 weeks at Kanha Tiger Reserve. So basically, first of all, let's understand the complete news here. So earlier, it was thought that this death of tigress and cubs, it was thought that this death was because of the starvation. But now, after proper investigation, it was confirmed that this death because of a contagious disease which we call as the canine distemper virus. So here you must have a basic idea about this canine distemper virus. So basically this virus spread from dogs to wild carnivores. So wild carnivores can be any animal. It can be tiger, lion, fox, etc. So first important thing, this death was found in Kanha Tiger Reserve, and why this death happened? So it happened because of canine distemper virus. So quickly let's discuss about the canine distemper virus, because prelims related facts are very important to discuss. So first of all, about the canine distemper disease, so it is caused by a virus. Which type of virus? So easily you can say it is caused by canine distemper virus, or second name you can remember is the morbilli virus. So in exam, if you see either of the term, either canine distemper virus or morbilli virus, both of the terms will be correct. So how it is caused? It is a viral disease. It is not a bacterial disease. Which type of virus? It is RNA virus. This also you focus whenever you read about any virus. Please focus that whether it is DNA virus or it is RNA virus. What is the name of virus? So either it can be canine distemper virus or it can be morbilli virus. Now, let's talk about the transmission. So as I have already discussed that it is a contagious disease. That means it can easily be transferred. How it can be transferred? It is an airborne virus. That means through sneezing, cold, cough, all these things through bodily fluids, it can be easily transmitted. Now, for exam point of view, this is very important to know that this is not a zoonotic disease. That zoonotic disease means diseases which can be transferred from animals to human beings. But since this is not zoonotic, that means human beings cannot get that disease, but it can be transferred from animal to animal. So this is very important. So what are those targeted species? So from infected dogs, it can be transferred to any wildlife species like foxes, raccoons, etc., or the large cats like lions, tigers, leopards, etc., etc. And how this death happened, how this death of tigress as well as cubs happened? So it happened because this canine distemper virus attacks the respiratory as well as nervous system. So since this attack all these systems in our body, in the body of animals, hence it led to mortality. Now, whenever you read about the any disease, you must focus whether any vaccination is available or not. So if we talk about the treatment, so it is very important to note that still no cure exists, but the vaccinations are available. So still there is no cure of canine distemper virus. But if I ask whether vaccinations are available, so yes, vaccinations are available. Okay. Now quickly let's discuss about the Kanha Tiger Reserve. So before discussing the facts, first of all, let's focus on the location. So this is the state of Madhya Pradesh, and in Madhya Pradesh, in the southeast region, we have Kanha National Park. So if we talk about the geographical location, so these are here somewhere we have the Vindhyan ranges, and here somewhere we have the Satpura ranges. So these are Vindhyan ranges and these are the Satpura ranges. So if a question is asked that they are located in which geographical area, which geographical range, so it is not present in the Vindhyan ranges, it is present in the Satpura ranges. So they are part of Satpura ranges. Please remember this. Okay, so let's discuss now prelims related facts. Kanha Tiger Reserve, it is also known as Kanha Kisli, and in which state it is located? It is located in the Madhya Pradesh, and it is the largest national park of Madhya Pradesh. Second important thing is that it is situated in two districts. It is situated in Mandla as well as Balaghat districts of Madhya Pradesh. Why I am focusing on the number of districts? Because I think in 2022 or 23 UPSC has asked this question. UPSC has given name of particular conserved area, and it has asked that how many number of states, how many number of districts are included in this conservation area. So maybe you do not remember the name of the districts, but you must have a basic idea that it is situated within two districts. What are those two districts? Mandla as well as Balaghat districts of Madhya Pradesh. Now next, this I have already discussed. It lies in the Maikal range of Satpura mountains. So Maikal ranges are part of larger Satpura mountains. So it lies in the Maikal ranges. Next, Kanha National Park was, first of all, it was established a national park in 1955, and after that it was designated as Tiger Reserve in 1973. So this thing you can remember that this particular conservation area is national park also, and it is a tiger reserve also. Now next, it is the first tiger reserve in India to have official mascot named Bhoor Singh the Barasingha. So here, actually the population of Barasingha is very high in this region. That's why this is the first tiger reserve who has its official mascot also. And the IUCN status of Barasingha is vulnerable. So these are some of the prelims related facts for Kanha Tiger Reserve. And yes, this is the location. Please don't forget, they are located in the Maikal ranges of Satpura mountains. They are not located in Vindhyan ranges. Okay, now next important article we have about the green methanol plant. Okay, so India's first green methanol plant to turn Kutch most invasive weed into the marine fuel. So first of all, let's understand the complete story. See, okay, so here we are talking about the Kutch region. So for example, this is peninsular India, and in this peninsular India, somewhere here we have Bunny grasslands. These are Bunny grasslands. Now, what was the issue with these grasslands? A lot of desertification was happening in this area, and because of high desertification, salinity was also increasing. So government came up with a solution. What was the solution? Government thought, let's introduce a particular plant species so that we can increase the afforestation in this region, and if afforestation increased, then desertification will automatically decrease. So what was the solution of the government? That since desertification was increasing in this area of Bunny grasslands, so let's introduce some of the plants, some of the trees, so that afforestation will increase, and hence the spread of deserts can reduce. And if spread of deserts can reduce, then ultimately the salinity will reduce. Okay, so now which type of vegetation government tried to introduce? So government introduced one important invasive species, and that was Prosopis juliflora. So government introduced Prosopis juliflora. It is an invasive alien species. That means this species is not native to India. And why government introduced this Prosopis juliflora? Because this species was drought resistant. So even if desertification was there in the Banni grasslands, then also the roots of this particular plant can go deep inside the ground and can search for the water. So this species can survive in the drought conditions. And if it can survive, then it can fill the complete area with the trees and plants, and hence the desertification will reduce. So this was the basic purpose. But over a period of time, what happened? This invasive alien species, over a period of time, a issue happened. And what was that? This invasive species was trying to compete with the local vegetation, and also it was destroying the local vegetation. So it destroyed the local vegetation. Okay, so this was the issue. So now see, this solution, government came up with the solution. Why? Because there was desertification. But what were the challenges? This invasive alien species tried to destroy the local vegetation and try to compete with the local vegetation. So now again government came up with another solution, that since this is invasive alien species, we do not want all these kind of plants, so we are using this invasive alien species in the green methanol production. So now it will be used in the green methanol production. Now let's discuss. So here government has decided to use Prosopis juliflora, which is an invasive alien species, in the India's first green methanol production plant at Deen Dayal Port Authority. Deen Dayal Port, that means Kandla Port, which is located somewhere here. So in Kandla Port or Deen Dayal Port Authority, this will be used for green methanol production. Now, this species has heavily invaded the Banni grasslands. As I have already discussed, that it was introduced intentionally, but then it showed its negative impacts. Now, briefly, let's discuss about the green methanol. What is green methanol? So, green methanol is a type of methanol fuel which is produced using renewable biomass energy. Renewable biomass energy. Because if we talk about the conventional methanol, then in conventional methanol, all the fossil fuels like crude oil, or if we talk about the coal, all these kind of crude oil, natural gas, coal, all these things were used. But if we talk about the green methanol, so here the biomass will be used. So here all the plants related to Propolis juliflora or the other kind of straws, which are the waste material in the agriculture, all these things will be used. So what will happen? First of all, there will be gasification of biomass. Gasification means you will oxidize this biomass. After gasification, this biomass will be converted into syngas. And finally, this syngas will be converted into methanol. So in this entire process, we do not use any fossil fuel, and complete process we covered using only biomass. So this was the complete thing, that in the production of green methanol, it involves gasification, that means partial oxidation of biomass. Then it will produce syngas, and syngas is a mixture of hydrogen, carbon monoxide as well as carbon dioxide. I think UPSC has recently asked this question also, that what is the composition of syngas in prelims. Now, next important advantage of green methanol is green methanol can replace the bunker oil. Bunker oil is the fuel which is used in the ships. So, two disadvantages of bunker oil is, first of all, it is very heavy. Okay. Second important disadvantage is that it produces a lot of carbon dioxide emissions and oxides of nitrogen emissions, sulfur dioxides, particulate matter, etc. So if we use green methanol, then it will, all these kind of harmful emissions can be eliminated or they can be reduced. Next thing is, this project of green methanol supports the India's Green Ports Initiative. Green Ports Initiative means all those ports which are supporting the use of renewable energy and which are supporting the reduction in the harmful greenhouse gas emissions. Okay, so I think this was the basic thing about, okay. Yes. So now let's quickly discuss about the Banni grasslands. Okay, so this is Gujarat, and here we have Banni grasslands in this region, and here somewhere we have Kandla port or Deen Dayal port. So about the Banni grasslands, so first important thing is that they are located along the northern border of Kutch district in the state of Gujarat. So here it is the location. Now in Banni grasslands, many ethnic groups are found. Now please tell me in the comment section that which is the major ethnic group found in the Banni grassland. So please tell me in the comment section about the major ethnic group. And this group is in news. Every time this one or the other news, you will find about this group. Next important thing is the Kutch Desert Wildlife Sanctuary and Chari Dand Conservation Reserve are part of the Banni grasslands. So what two things are part of Banni grasslands? Kutch Desert Wildlife Sanctuary and Chari Dand Conservation Reserve. If we talk about the flora, so along with Prosopis juliflora, these are some of the vegetation which are found in the region. And similarly, if we talk about the fauna, so here animals like nilgai, chinkara, Indian wolf, Asiatic wildcat, etc., etc. These are some of the fauna. So very important for you to know is the location of the Banni grassland, then some of the major ethnic groups which are found in this grassland, and the two conserved area which are the part of Banni grasslands. So first is the Kutch Desert Wildlife Sanctuary and second is the Charidan Conservation Reserve. Yes, this was the question of 2017. It was a very simple question. Why is plant called Prosopis juliflora often mentioned in the news? Very simple question it was. So these were the options. Its extract is widely used in cosmetics. Second, it reduces the biodiversity in the area which it grows. Its extract is used in the synthesis of pesticides. So as we know that it is invasive species, so it will reduce the biodiversity of the area in which it grows. Now, next important article is related to the food security. Align food system to hydrological and energy realities. So recently what happened? World Bank has released a report. The name of the report was Nourish and Flourish: Water Solutions to Feed 10 billion People in a Livable Planet. So for what this report says, it says that global food systems are misaligned with the hydrological realities. What is the meaning for this? The meaning for this is the crops which the farmers all over the world are growing, these crops are not as per the water availability in that region. So these crops which are grown, they are not aligned with the water availability in that region. That means the use of water is not sustainable in all over the countries. So for example, the people who are living in the drought prone region or the region which have very low amount of rainfall, there people are growing water intensive crops, for example, sugarcane or rice. So this is the meaning of the statement that the global food systems are not aligned with the hydrological realities of the world, meaning water use in agriculture is unsustainable. Next thing, it discusses about India. So it says that in India, large amount of export of virtual water is happening. What is the meaning of virtual water? Virtual water means the water which is present in the products what you are exporting. For example, if India is exporting rice or if India is exporting sugarcane, so all these products are water intensive products. So if India is exporting more and more these products, that means India is exporting more and more its virtual water. So that is not good thing for India. So here article discusses that India is also a water stressed food exporter, and then also this thing is not aligned in India. The food production as well as water availability is also not aligned in India because the export of virtual water in India is huge. Next, article discusses a very important thing, and that is energy, water and agriculture nexus failure. See, this is very interesting thing. What it says, energy, water as well as agriculture nexus failure. So why this nexus is needed? Please understand this. See, if we talk about the agriculture, so what is the main requirement in the agriculture? For good agriculture, you will need water, right? Water is the basic requirement for the agriculture, for the crops to grow, for irrigation. And if you want the regular supply of water, so regular supply of water depends on energy. Depends on energy, depends on electricity. Production of electricity depends on coal, natural gas, oil. So basically, energy or the electricity depends on the fossil fuels. Fossil fuels. Now, do you understand the nexus? Do you understand in this way? Because if fossil fuels are not there, electricity is not there. If electricity is not there, energy is not there. If energy is not there, you cannot use the water, you cannot use the water pumps. And if water is not there, then agriculture will be affected. So this is the meaning of agriculture, energy, water and agriculture nexus failure, because the policy makers are focusing on a particular thing in the isolated manner. You have to focus on this nexus, that if you want successful agriculture, then you have to ensure the energy security, you have to ensure the water security. Okay, then again the condition of India is discussed here, that India imports nearly 85 to 90% of its crude oil, and because of that India is highly vulnerable to energy shocks, oil shocks, etc. So if there is energy shock, then there will be water shock, and if there is water shock, there will be agriculture shock, and if there is agriculture shock, then there will be food inflation and there will be higher import bills. So all these things are discussed in the article. Next, the article says that since at present we have West Asia crisis, so which is worsening all these things, and apart from that, climate change is also worsening these things, because of the erratic monsoons and droughts, we do not have very good rainfall, and if we do not have very good rainfall, again food inflation will increase. Now, some of the solutions are discussed in the article. So, solutions which are provided, first important solution is the crop diversification. That means the people who live in the dry regions or drought prone regions, they should not focus only on the crops which are included in MSP. They must focus on the other type of crops also. For example, millets, because they are drought resistant. For example, on some other fruits or vegetables. So, if they diversify their crops, they can diversify their income also. Next important thing article says about the direct benefit transfer. See here, as we have discussed about this nexus, one important thing more I would like to discuss here, that as you know that to generate energy you will need fossil fuels, to generate electricity you will be needing fossil fuels. But since government is giving a lot of subsidy on electricity, so people are using electricity in very irresponsible manner. And if you are using electricity in irresponsible manner, a lot of water will be wasted, because pumps will be running without like anything, because you are not focusing on how much electricity you are using or how much water you are using. So if you are wasting a lot of water, then ultimately agriculture will be affected. So here, next solution is the direct benefit transfer, that instead of giving subsidy in electricity to farmers, you can directly transfer money to their account, so that they will use all these money in the responsible manner. Third solution is the precision agriculture. Precision agriculture like the drip and sprinkler irrigation. For example, these are your crops. So instead of irrigating in the spray manner, instead of using the sprays for irrigation, in the precision agriculture, the pipes will be directly targeted to the plants, specific plants. So here, this outlet will go to a specific plant. This outlet will go to this particular specific plant. So in this way, water will not be wasted. And next, the article says you must use solar irrigation under PM Kusum scheme. That means you must use the renewable source of energy. Because here, as we have already discussed, that because of West Asia crisis, we have scarcity of fossil fuels. So these are some of the solutions. So what is the broader message of the article? That food security depends on water security, and water security depends on the energy security. So here India must move from isolated based policy making to integrated resource governance. That means you should not focus only on agriculture or only on water or only on energy. You must focus on this complete nexus. Okay, next important article we have about the fiber optic drones. So recently a militant group in Lebanon, that is Hezbollah has attacked the region in Israel using the fiber optic drones. So first of all, it's very important for you to know the basics of fiber optic drones. See, first of all, let's discuss about the conventional drones. For example, this is a conventional drone and this is a remote control. This is the controller of conventional drones. So what will happen in conventional drones? These both devices will communicate each other with the help of radio waves, because it is a wireless communication. So what will happen if they are communicating each other with radio waves? So if you want to disrupt this connection, then you can use the electronic jamming. So what happens in electronic jamming? This communication of these two devices with the help of radio waves, this will get disrupted. But now new concept came, that is the fiber optic cables. So what will happen in fiber optic cable? For example, this is your drone and this is the controller. So this drone will be linked to the controller using a fiber optic cable. That means there will be a physical connection. So what will be the advantage of this physical connection? Here, electronic jamming cannot disrupt the connection between the drone as well as the controller. Because earlier, countries used the electronic jamming so as to disrupt the connection. But here, since we are using the physical connection, we are not using radio waves, hence the connection cannot be disrupted. And hence, these connections cannot be detected by the radar of any country. So that's why detecting them becomes very, very difficult. So that's what discussed in the article, that unlike conventional drones, which are controlled through radio links or autonomous navigation, fiber optic drones use a physical cable for command transmission. And that's why they are very difficult to detect or impossible to jam electronically. So this was the basic thing. Now, these things are aggressively used. These things were aggressively used in the Russia-Ukraine war also. Now, next important thing for you to know is that this is a very serious issue, because what we are discussing, that Hezbollah has recently attacked on Israel using fiber optic cables. So, what is Hezbollah? Hezbollah is a non-state actor. Can you see? Hezbollah is a non-state actor, and if we talk about Israel, so Israel is a state actor. So if you can conclude in this way, that over a period of time, in recent times, non-state actors are using more advanced technology to attack on the state actors. So these are some of the advantages of the technological advancement. Okay, so yes, so I think these were the important things. Yes, and one more important thing about the optic fiber cable drones, that these drones are very small, they fly at low altitude, and they have a short flight path, and they can also carry the explosives. So all the things which are needed by any militant group, all the things are happening here, and plus they cannot be disrupted through electronic jamming. So these were some of the important points for the article. Okay, so a practice question for you. With reference to green methanol, consider the following statements. First is, it is produced from renewable biomass such as agricultural residues. Second, it can be used as an alternative fuel in the shipping sector. And next, its production involves the generation of syngas through gasification. So now please try to answer this question in the comment section, because I think we discussed about green methanol in detail. So yes, I think that's all from my side for today. Thank you and have a nice day.